Inside Chapter 1, Navigator Lost. After a rather spooky adventure on the island of Thriller Bark, the Straw Hats along with newest crew member Brooke had stopped at an island to relax. It was a small island with a town populating most of it with a small jungle not far off from it. The Straw Hats had landed by the jungle and a few of them went to the town to do some shopping. Zorro, Chopper, Robin and Brooke had decided to stay on the ship and relax. Robin read a book, Chopper was making some medicine, Brooke played music to himself and Zorro was sleeping at the town. Luffy was off to find somewhere that had meat as always. Usopp and Frankie were buying equipment to make weapons out of. Sanji was shopping for food and Nami was shopping for new clothes. She seemed to always be in need of a pair after the results of the battles they faced, as they kept getting ruined. She had to hold back on buying anything expensive as well as the Straw Hats needed to make sure they had enough bellies to keep them going. Ugh, none of these is my style so far, she moaned looking at what was now the fourth clothes shop she had been to. The only ones I like are going beyond what I remember to take. I should have just taken the rest of what we had anyway. She left the shop continuing to moan and walked on to find somewhere else. Nami had come across the last clothes shop in town this time hoping to find something. She looked around and at the moment it was leading to the same result as the previous shops. She was so focused on looking at clothes that she bumped into a man next to her. That finally broke her browsing. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I got so lost in what I was doing that I... It's fine, replied the man, happens to all of us. His response was in a very friendly sort of manner. Nami didn't have any sort of response and turned away to continue browsing. Eventually, she finally found something up her alley and headed towards the till to pay. On the back of the till were a selection of clothes that were currently on sale. Ugh, who'd wanna buy that even at that low of a price? She looked at the costume set that was in the style of a jester. It contained a red and orange puffy-sleeved tunic reaching to the upper legs with jingle bells dangling off the pointed flaps. A pair of knee-length boots that pointed at the dips with bells attached to them came along with the set, red and orange-colored arm gloves, a brown-necked choker with a bell attached, and topping it off was a jester's hat in the same red and orange color style with lots more bells attached to the dangling sleeves. Usopp maybe boo-it, no. Got your eyes on that outfit there? Asked the shop owner. It's great for parties and we really need to sell it. No thanks, replied Nami. It looks great and all but it's just not something for me. Shame, I thought somebody would finally buy it but never mind. So just the shirt and dress, yes. Nami paid for her stuff and left the store feeling relieved she finally brought something. She felt hungry and went to find a nearby restaurant. She walked on in and was weighted to a seat and given the menu. Just before you choose, said the waiter, we are completely out of meat. Out of meat? Oh, Luffy, why? Fine, then I'll just have a tomato soup, please. Disappointed but satisfied with getting some food in her system, Nami decided to wander around the parts of town she hadn't seen yet. The town was big and there was still plenty of time to kill before she had to meet up with the others at the time they agreed to meet up at. Not every part of the town was as busy as the main square as Nami walked into a quieter part of town. Not as many shops were around nor were there many people. Totally different atmosphere on this side. Any deader than this and it's a ghost town. Just then she heard a whistle coming from a certain alleyway. Turning her head towards where the sound was coming from, the whistling happened again, getting louder and louder. "Is somebody calling for me? I know I shouldn't, but that whistling is starting to get on my nerves." Nami was known for having a very short temper when something or someone made her angry. She walked into the alley just so she could shut up whoever was there. "Hey, cut it out, will ya?" But to her surprise, there was nobody to be found when she got there. What a jerk. Taking off before I had the chance to do anything. HMPH. She started to walk back towards where she originally was until suddenly she saw some strange blue smoke covering the area. "Hey, what is all this?" Slowly Nami was beginning to feel dazed until she fell to the floor and passed out. Walking up behind her was a figure in a black hooded cloak that then picked up Nami and carried her away. Later on, Nami eventually opened her eyes, still feeling dazed from earlier. Her vision was blurry for a few seconds. "Where am I?" she said weakly, still trying to recover. Her eyesight finally regained focus, and the first thing she noticed was an empty brown room with benches and seats filling the room. Who would need this many seats in a place like this? Then she started to notice something else. 4 thick orange strings were in her side, so she followed them to where they lead to, leaving her in shock once she found out. The strings were tied up in a knot on the feet of a pair of knee-length boots with bells attached to strips at the top and on the curl tips. She also noticed her legs were slightly suspended above the floor, one of them being up more than the other. What is this? This looks just like. She then started to notice that all of her clothing was the same, just her costume set she saw in the clothes shop she went to. She couldn't see it, but she had 2 big red dots painted on her cheeks. She also noticed more strings tied to other areas of her body, from the hands and upper arms, knees, waist, and though she couldn't see them, 4 more strings were stitched into the base of the jester hat. She looked above her to where the strings lead to and noticed a pair of wooden crosses placed in between 2 wooden planks. Nami also noticed a painted background behind her and red curtains from the left and right. She was on a small stage, which she then realized she was within an empty run-down theater. Okay, this is getting really freaky now. Somebody obviously wants to pull some sort of stupid prank on me. Who thought it was a good idea to dress me up in this stupid jet and string me up like a puppet? Nobody pulls my strings. Suddenly another thought came into her head that only made her situation worse. Wait a second. If I'm now wearing these clothes, Nami's face went bright red of embarrassment. That means somebody removed my other clothes to put these on me. Now her face was red with rage. Taking advantage of me like that. That does it. Nami was mad and tried shaking around to make the crosses fall down. The numerous amount of bells on the outfit jingled frantically as she shook herself about, but the placement of the puppet controls made it too hard for her to force down. Well, this is just great. I'm stuck here looking like an idiot, and I can't even move my arms down properly to try and untie these strings. That you are right. You aren't going anywhere, said a voice close by. Hey, who's there? Let me out of this right now. Just then somebody walked into the room from the side of the stage. Nami gasped when she saw who it was. You're that guy I saw in the clothes shop. Indeed, it's me. Rick's the name and don't you forget it. Great. So very happy to see you, Mr. Whatever, replied Nami sarcastically. Funny. Now finally I can get back at you for what you did to me, thief. Meanwhile Buffy, Usopp, Frankie and Sanji had all met up at the spot they agreed to meet at. Got anything good? Asked Sanji to Usopp and Frankie. Not all that much really, replied Usopp. Just some upgrades to some of my previous weapons and some ingredients for ammo. Not much on my side either, said Frankie. Just a whole load of cola really. Well, I went and bought a bunch of meat, fish and veggies to keep us going, said Sanji. But Luffy, you better not eat all of this before the day is over, got it? He got stern with Luffy, who was known for being pretty greedy when it came to food. Now I won't need any today, Sanji, he replied. What? Said everyone else at once in shock. We can actually eat meat for once in our lives. I'm pretty stuffed on meat today. I went to a bunch of restaurants and went crazy on the stuff. Typical of you, Luffy, Sanji sighed. Say, any of you guys seen Nami yet? She still hasn't made it back. Now that you mention it, yeah, where is Nami? Replied Usopp. Think that she's still clothes shopping? Maybe she's gotten carried away again, asked Frankie. Probably it, replied Luffy. People can get so caught up in that stuff. It's so boring, though. Wanna give it another 10 minutes? Asked Usopp. If she still doesn't show up, then we should all split up and try and find her. Sounds like a plan to me, agreed Frankie. Let's sit on that nearby bench and wait. 10 minutes passed by quickly and there was still no sign of Nami. Well then guess we better go find her, said Usopp, as the other got off the bench. Let's give everyone a half hour to look for her. After that time is up, then meet back here, instructed Sanji. Got it, replied everyone else, as they slipped up to different areas of the town to track Nami down. Look, I don't know who you are, said Nami angrily to Rick. Typical. Well, I sure as hell remember you after what you stole from me. Stole what? Elaborate. All of the gold I had safely locked up in my treasure chest, you stupid girl. Oh please, like that makes it easy to remember. I used to be a thief, but I haven't done it in a long time, and it was all for a good reason. Stealing from me isn't something you can say was for a good reason. I was broke for far too long. The rather big amount of deals I had to make with some pirates just to get back to a reasonable amount of cash. It was frustrating, damn it. I certainly remember a ginger-haired woman stealing treasure from me, looking towards me like I was some kind of idiot. Tell me, were you a pirate or something? I've never seen you in my life and I only stole from pirates. I used to be. But I gave that life up after it just wasn't working for me. I got lucky with some of the pirates I made deals with, as they knew me from way back, but a lot of the time my life would be at risk. Look, I'm not here to discuss my past, I'm here to get back at and completely humiliate you after what you did to me. Oh come on, talk about holding onto a grudge. Now get me down from here and just let go of it already. Not a chance, puppet. I'm not done until I humiliate you. Rick walked towards the stage, turning on an old-fashioned music box sitting on the table close by. He wound it up and went up a small flight of stairs, leading him above the stage in Nami. He took the puppet controls and started to make Nami dance on the stage along with the music box's chimes. The bells on Nami's costume jingled along with the rhythm of the music box. "Hey, stop it, you jerk!" Nami yelled as she tried to fight back against the strings. Oh, this is just where the fun begins. Nami was being made to raise her arms and one leg up, swapping to her other leg in a continuous motion. After that, her legs were being manipulated to awkwardly skip around on the spot whilst her hands were made to clap continuously. Nami was so embarrassed that her cheeks went as red as the ones painted on her. "Hope you're enjoying this, you freak. 'Cause when it's over I'm gonna kick your ass." His response was now making her bend down and move her arms up and down like a chicken. "Yep. You're dead, Buster." He then twisted both the controls, which made Nami spin around. She got tangled up in all the strings and then started to spin in the opposite direction, making the strings freer. He kept doing it over and over again, making her feel dizzy. "This is getting ridiculous now," she said dazedly. "Had enough yet, thief?" "What do you think?" "Well, I haven't." Then Nami's arms were raised forwards and her legs moved forward awkwardly like a robot. Her left arm was then raised upwards and her waist bent sideways so her field of view was on Rick. She poked out her tongue and spat at him, even though he was too high up to feel the impact. "Now that wasn't nice. Time to teach you a lesson, thief. Up you go." Nami was being raised up in the air and put back down on the ground, landing on her butt. "Oh. Not cool." "Oh, you like that? Well, here we go again." He repeated the same action on her several more times. The humiliation just wouldn't stop there, as he now made her pose like a bunny rabbit, bouncing up and down with her hands over her head like rabbit ears. Nami was so exhausted from it all that she couldn't pull back against the strings. "Okay, please give it a rest. If you want an apology or something, then fine. I'm sorry I stole the treasure I don't remember stealing from you." "Happy? Well, you're actually apologizing for what you did to me? I'm surprised a thief can actually say that." "Well, you know what? I forgive you." Nami wasn't convinced by Rick, however, from his tone of voice. "Not gonna stop, are you? You're smart." He decided to end his playtime with Nami by making her dance like a ballerina. She was raised upwards slightly so her right leg was on tiptoe and her other leg rose up so it bent from behind her leg. Her arms raised above her head and she stood there for a few seconds like if she was balancing. Then she skipped across the stage, finally ending with her being dropped onto the floor on her butt again. "Well, I'd say I'm satisfied. For now at least." Goody Nami was completely wiped out, as she was risen up again, so Rick could put the puppet controls back where they were. She rocked around a little, suspended above the ground, just as she was when she woke up. She exhaustedly dropped her head down, glad that it was all over. Her body ached all over from all of the moving around she was made to do. "You know what?" said Rick, appearing in front of her again. "I never realized I was so good with puppeteering." He smiled to himself. "Yeah, whatever," replied Nami exhaustedly, just wanting to go to sleep. "You're now my little marionette for me to control." A fitting fate for a thief-turned jester, wouldn't you agree? As Rick spoke, He pinched most of Nami's strings and shook them about, making her arms and legs flap about frantically. She was too exhausted to care at this point, as she knew she couldn't do anything. Despite how much I want to kick your ass into next week, I'm ashamed to admit that you're actually good. Ever thought of dropping the idea of being an asshole and go into doing puppet shows? You'd be so much better off. Well, now that you mention it, that's not a bad idea. Except for the part of being what you call an asshole. The feeling of total control over you is one of the most satisfying feelings I've ever felt in my life. Perhaps I should do this to other people who piss me off. He pushed Nami backwards and then let her go, so that she was swinging back and forth around the stage. She was still too tired to care at this point, as she slowed down. The world thanks you, jerk. Even if you continue to torment me like this, I'll still continue to backlash you till you get so tired of me that you'd want to let me go. Rick suddenly got an idea in his head. Say now, maybe that devil fruit I've kept all this time would make this even more fun, he said proudly. Say what? I'll be right back for you, Missy. Stay there while I'm gone, okay? Oh right, staying there is all you can do. If my friends were here, you wouldn't be ever doing one of these human puppet shows ever again. Friends, you say? Well, you absolutely must tell me about them once I get back. Not like you won't have a choice anyway. Nami was hardly taking him seriously throughout all this, but those words that came out of his mouth made her slightly curious. I'll be right back. Make sure not to miss me. Oh, please don't go. Who else will make me look like a complete moron? She replied sarcastically. Rick didn't respond and took off smiling. Everything was now quiet, besides the occasional jingle of the bells on her hat from her moving her head a bit. What kind of mess have I gotten myself into? A guy who doesn't know the concept of letting go made to wear this dumb outfit, and an experience that never makes me want to see another puppet show again. One of the worst things is that guy could make me dance better than I ever could in my life. Why me? Rick returned to the building carrying a purple devil fruit tucked in his arm. The base of it had swirls that looked never-ending, if it was looked at long enough. Nami had been sleeping for a bit and was soon woken up by him shaking her head strings up and down. That, along with the bells jingling frantically, woke her up in an instant. Wacky wacky puppet thief. Oh wait, puppet jester is more appropriate for you, because you're a laugh. Oh great, my favorite person in the world is back, she moaned. I know you love me. Sure do you, ass. Well, you soon love me once I devour this fruit I've been saving until the right moment. What kind of devil fruit is that? Whatever it is, I'm gonna hate it, if it suits his needs. Down the hatch. Rick took a bite out of the fruit, munching it down as fast as he could. Nami watched slowly, beginning to worry about what kind of powers he would obtain. Rick had eaten most of the fruit, but then suddenly dropped it, feeling something he had never felt before. This is it, yes, I can feel it. The power. Rick cheered in victory like it was the greatest thing in his life. Hey, you ever wanted to swim? Asked Nami wittingly. I hear it does wonders for devil fruit people. Try smartest, but I already know what's lost from eating this thing. I was a pirate, so no doubt I know about them. He now gained proper focus towards Nami, glaring at her eyes. Nami gave him a sarcastic smile, trying not to show any fear, even if she was a little worried inside. She suddenly noticed thin purple swirls in her field of vision. She went from looking smug to looking rather interested by what she could see. Rick's smile grew bigger as he watched her slowly lose that smile and gave more of an entranced look. "Have you ever wanted somebody to be your master at all?" he asked. Nami was fading out in her mind, trying to stay awake, but it was no use. Her mind switched off and her brown eyes went completely blank. "Yes. That's wonderful," he smiled, feeling joyful inside that the fruit's powers were just as he was told about. "How about I be your master? In fact, you will call me master." "Yes, master. Your name?" "I didn't ask you before, so speak up." "Nami." "What a wonderful name. Perfectly suited for lovely woman. How would you like to be my puppet for the rest of your days?" "Yes." "Wonderful. Fun times lay ahead." Now Rick felt even more in control than he ever did before. He couldn't help but do a slightly evil laugh, feeling accomplished in his victory. He rushed back up to the stage and was making Nami dance once again as he laughed. Nami was humiliated and now completely obedient to him. As far as Rick was concerned, he felt like the happiest man on earth. Whether anybody would like it or not. One Side Act 1 Chapter 2 Straw Hat Search and Rescue. "Nami Swan, where are you?" yelled out Sanji, who was still on the hunt for Nami along with Luffy, Usopp and Frankie. They had been through most areas of the town, but they weren't getting any closer to finding her. Even the local townsfolk had no idea of where or who she was. They all met back up at the designated area where they were waiting for Nami originally. "So nothing at all?" asked Sanji. "Nothing," replied Luffy. "Not a single clue at all, sorry guys." "We tried," said Usopp. "She's nowhere in sight," said Frankie. "I know clothes shopping is something she loves and all, but this is ridiculous. This isn't her still going around clothes shops," Sanji pondered. "Something is going on and I have a strong suspicion that Nami is involved." "What makes you so sure?" asked Luffy. "Because I have a knack for knowing when my sweet Nami is possibly in trouble. If she were in trouble, then I don't see what it could be," replied Usopp. "This town is pretty peaceful and everyone around here seems friendly. Then again, I suppose that could all be some kind of cover-up to trick us." "Now those folks seem like good people," replied Frankie. "We better search the area again. If nothing comes up, then we'll head back to the Thousand Sunny and ask the others if they can help." "Sure," said Usopp. "Let's have one of us stay here in case she gets back here whilst the others search the town again." "I suggest that I stay put." "Fine then. Let's split up and begin the search again," replied Luffy. But before the gang set off, they noticed something in the distance. "Wait a sec," said Sanji. "Are those guys who I think they are?" Everyone raised their eyes once they noticed. In the distance were a group of men dressed in familiar white clothing and armed with rifles. "Oh great, not the Marines!" cried Usopp loudly. The others covered up his mouth as quick as they could in case the Marines heard him. They quickly ran towards a nearby bush and hid in it. "Great, that's all we need," said Sanji angrily. "Those bastards are gonna ask the townfolk about us," said Frankie. "They've all seen our faces now, so searching for Nami is gonna be a pain." Luffy suddenly thought of something. What if the Marines found Nami and captured her? What about the thousand Sunny too? Replied Sanji. We better not waste any more time. Let's search for Nami again and try to avoid the Marines as much as possible. But I suggest that one of you quietly spy on them to find out any possible information on her whereabouts. Leave it to me, replied Luffy. I'll stay up high on the rooftops or something. But what about the Sunny? Asked Usopp. The Marines probably found our ship and the others are still back there. We parked near the beach on this island, so hopefully the Marines put their ship closer to the town's harbor, said Frankie. Still, I think one of us better go back and check up on it. Okay then, replied Sanji. Usopp, you get back to the ship to warn the others, whilst Frankie and I search the town again. But as quietly as we can. Sure, I'm down with that, replied Frankie. Then let's move out, said Sanji, as the team made their split to continue the search. Good luck out there, guys, said Usopp as quietly as he could. Hang in there, Nami, said Sanji, as he raced towards the town. Meanwhile, back at the abandoned theater, Rick was sitting at a table making a list of ideas he had on how to use his new powers for his personal gain. Since falling under his control, Nami had been staring blankly into the void after Rick took a break from playing with her. The silence broke as Rick turned in his chair to look at Nami. Look at you hovering around over there, he said with a smirk. Unable to do anything without my supervision, and now you are completely loyal to me. This is how you get revenge. He walked onto the stage to Nami and pinched her left leg string, raising it backwards so that her foot kicked herself in the butt. Quit hitting yourself, he teased, as he did it repeatedly. Nami didn't react to the impact at all, continuing to stare ahead blankly. Not a very talkative one, are you? He tried to get a reaction out of her by pushing her from behind like a swing, but even that didn't do anything. My powers must be stronger than I realized. As Rick stared at her blank expressionless face, he grabbed her left hamstring and moved it so that her hand touched his cheek. His strong hatred of Nami was taking a backseat as he started to feel calm around her. The feeling of her hand stroking his face was something he had never felt before. He was slowly warming up to Nami the more he continued to look at her. You've been a good puppet, he said. Keeping quiet when I need to think, obeying my every command and only moving when I make you move. The person I've hated for so long is finally the person I want you to be. Rick let go of Nami's arm string and watched it swing around until it stopped. You are allowed to speak now. Thank you, Master, replied Nami, now showing a smile on her face. I'm so happy that I'm the puppet you always wanted. A thought came to her head and she looked around the stage and the empty seats in front of her. I wonder if I could be a puppet that performs for other people too? Rick wasn't expecting Nami to have her own thoughts while under his control. He wanted to hear more, so he let her continue. Master, do you think I could be the greatest puppet in the world? Rick liked the sound of that, so a big smile appeared on his face. Why, of course you could, my Nami. Why, you've got a master who can puppeteer you like an expert. Are you saying that you want to stay with me and become a traveling duo? Replied Nami happily. When you made me dance on this stage, I realized that this is my dream. I want my strings to make me dance for millions of people. I want to sing my heart out about how amazing you are to me, as I perform. I want to make people laugh being the jester I now am. My dream is to be the greatest puppet in the world. You made me your puppet for a reason, Master, and I want to obey you till the very end. Rick couldn't believe the words reaching his ears. He walked on the stage and got closer to her. My precious puppet. You probably don't remember, but you once told me that I should go into doing puppet shows. Maybe you were right about that. But the only puppet I'll ever need is you, he told her. I'd love to take you with me, wherever I go. You'll perform for millions and make me so damn rich beyond my wildest expectations. You may not be made of wood or other materials like normal puppets, but a human puppet act is rarely seen, so you'll stand out from the crowd. My plans were to create an obedient army of slaves to take down anybody who would dare mess with me. But you've opened up my eyes to an even better future. Because I'm ordering you to do it, Nami, you will be able to have your dream come true. Oh, Master, thank you. If I could move myself, I'd cuddle you. Rick liked Nami's gesture, so he pinched both her hamstrings and moved them to make her arms wrap around him. Nami closed her eyes happily. It's my pleasure, Nami. He let go of her strings and looked at the empty seats in the room. Well, I suppose we better get practicing for you becoming a star. Let's get you dancing, girl. He darted towards the music player and put on an uplifting tune before running up the stage stairs. He grabbed Nami's controls from above her, which got her all excited. I'll do my best, Master. Nami called. Well then, come on, Nami, let's dance. He started making her dance on the stage perfectly in sync with the music. Nami cheered. This is so much fun, Master. How about making up a song for me as well, he told her. With that, Nami started to think of lyrics on the fly as she danced around. In only a short amount of time, she made up some words like she was an expert. Jump up, everybody. Move your feet along to my beat. Clap your hands, everybody. If you wanna keep up with me. Sing along, everybody. My super cute song will make you say how sweet. Dance with me, everybody. Just like me now, 1, 2, 3, I'm your Nami, Nami Swan. I'm gonna dance for you, I'm gonna play with you. I'm your Nami, Nami Swan. Get your body moving, cheer with me, wahoo. I'm your Nami, Nami Swan, you control me. Okay, I'll dance the night away. Nami, your Nami Swan, I'm a happy little puppet, wouldn't have it any other way. Was really getting into Nami's cheerful song, as he tapped his feet along to the rhythm. You're amazing, Nami. Keep on going, you're doing great, he called down. Okie dokie, Master, try and keep up with me, she replied, as she thought of some more lyrics. Pull my strings, everybody. Keep the song going, move those fingers, watch me go. Ring my bells, everybody, they go ring-a-ding-a-ling, it's catchy. Don't ya know, shake your body, everybody. It's easy peasy, keep that groove, I'm always on the move. Dance with me, everybody, just like me now. 1, 2, 3, I'm your Nami. Nami Swan, I'm gonna dance for you, I'm gonna play with you. I'm your Nami, Nami Swan, get your body moving, cheer with me, wahoo. I'm your Nami, Nami Swan, you control me, okay? I'll dance the night away, Nami. Your Nami Swan. I'm a happy little puppet, wouldn't have it any other way. As the music came to a close, Rick made Nami take a bow to end the performance. Bravo, Nami. Bravo, he cheered. That will be our opening song for our future shows, we do for sure. That was fantastic. Nami was delighted with the compliment. Master, I sung my heart out for you and to all the future people who come to watch me. Thank you, my dear. I'm so glad I made you into who you are today. This will be the start of something wonderful. With you at my side, I'll become wealthy enough to have a much brighter future. You'll do everything I tell you, won't you? For you, Master, Nami replied cheerfully, as Rick made her upper body move upwards and downwards to make her say yes through body language. He came down from the stage, putting Nami's controls back where they were, suspending her above the stage again. Approaching her up front, he once again took Nami's hamstrings to make her cuddle him, which made Nami very happy. I've never had a true friend up until now, said Rick, thinking about his life. You've never had a friend, Master? No, not one. I was never liked by anybody, even when I was a pirate back in the day. None of my crew liked having me around, and even as a kid I was hated. I've never known why, and it's made me so lonely. But you're here now, Nami. You're the person I feel like I can make friends with. You're welcome, Master, she replied softly. Can't these damn Marines just get out of my sight already? Moaned Sanji, as he continued to stay hidden from them as they patrolled the streets. He hid behind an empty shop building as he listened in on two Marines about to converse. Any sign of the Straw Hats? Asked the Marine General to one of his officers. Nothing yet, sir, he replied. Then keep searching, soldier, he replied. They can't be too far away from here. Their ship was in plain sight as we arrived here, so hopefully arriving at the harbor has still given us the chance of a surprise attack. So they did see our ship. Damn Marines. But it sounds like Nami hasn't been spotted by these guys, so where the hell is she? There's supposed to be an abandoned theater somewhere around here. Maybe the Straw Hats are located around there, said the officer. Then don't just stand there, get yourself to that place and check it out, replied the general. Yes, sir. He took off to find the theater whilst the general headed back into the main part of town. Why didn't anybody else hear or track down that place earlier? Asked Sanji to himself. I'll try and follow that guy quietly just in case Nami is around there. Sanji stayed as far back from the Marine as he could to follow him, which became quite difficult as the Marine tracked down two other fellow soldiers to follow him in the search. This was infuriating for Sanji, as he had to go even slower. Eventually the three Marine soldiers found the place after nearly half an hour of searching. Sanji had hid himself behind a nearby tree, feeling relieved that he found the place. This old building is quite the distance from town, said one of the Marines. You think the Straw Hats are here? Won't know until we look, replied another. Or they could have been in town this whole time hiding from us. Just then they heard the faint sound of giggling coming from inside the theater. Sanji couldn't hear it from where he was, but noticed that the Marines looked on high alert. So there is someone inside here, said an officer. Maybe there really is a Straw Hat inside. One of us? Sanji thought in surprise. Then what if Nami is? With that, Sanji's patience had gone as he charged towards the Marines. Hey, assholes, he cried as he jumped high into the air and kicked all three of the Marines with a strong single kick. He knocked them all out flawlessly, leaving them passed out on the floor. That'll keep them off my back. Sanji got closer to the theater doors and listened out for any noise. Like the Marines, he now could hear giggling from a man and from a girl that he instantly knew who it was. Nami? So she is in there. Inside the theater, Nami was being made to dance on the stage again with Rick controlling her. "This is the best, master," she said, happily being made to jump from the stage, followed by graceful twirls. "Glad you're enjoying this, my sweet Nami," replied Rick. But the fun for him was about to end, as he heard the front door from downstairs crash down with a loud thump. "What on earth?" he cried, almost dropping the marionette controls. "What's going on?" replied Nami worryingly. "I'm getting scared, master." Rick began to feel slightly worried himself. They both heard footsteps at a fast pace, getting louder and louder. "Nami, are you in here?" cried Sanji, as he ran up the first of 2 flights of stairs towards the main stage. "Wait a minute. Someone is here, for you?" asked Rick to Nami. But before she could reply, Sanji finally arrived at the stage. "Nami, so you were here all this time," he cried happily in his lover tone of voice. But upon closer inspection, his joy turned into shock. "Why are you a puppet? That outfit too. What's going on here?" "Who are you, trespasser?" called Rick from above the stage. From where Sanji was, he couldn't see him. Sanji started getting angry. "Who's there? Come out and show yourself." Rick was hesitant at first, but suddenly remembered about his new powers that the devil fruit gave him, which boosted his confidence. He put Nami's controls back and walked down the stage to confront Sanji. "So you're the one breaking into my new home," he said in a menacing tone. "You dare come in here and frighten my dear sweet Nami?" "Your dear sweet Nami," replied Sanji furiously. "How dare you say those words, when you've clearly captured her, strung her up like a puppet for your own personal gain, and dressing her up like that? I'll kick your ass, you creep." "Stop being so mean to my master," cried Nami. Sanji froze in shock at Nami calling him that. "Master? Nami, what are you saying? Master has been so kind to me. I'm gonna be the greatest puppet the world has ever seen, with my master right beside me. You're scaring me, you big bully." Sanji was horrified and couldn't speak a word. "I don't know who you are, and why you know Nami, but you can't accuse me of doing anything when this is what she really wants," said Rick, sounding more menacing than before. Sanji turned towards Rick, now filled with rage. "What have you done to her?" "Stop it," replied Nami. "My master hasn't done anything bad. I've simply helped her realize her dream. I won't have you scaring my precious ticket to fame and fortune any longer." Sanji was ready to beat the snot out of Rick, until he noticed something on the table where Rick wrote a few notes. It was his devil fruit, with a few bites taken out of it. He thought about Nami calling him master and managed to put the 2 and 2 together. He smirked at Rick, showing no signs of anger. "What's gotten you so happy?" he asked, still showing confidence in himself. Rick glared intensely at Sanji's eyes, as he was preparing to make use of his powers again. Without a single word spoken, Sanji launched his right foot towards Rick's face and gave him a powerful kick dead on. Rick was pushed back at a fierce speed, as he crashed into the wall and landed on the floor, passing out in the process. Nami was about to scream, seeing Rick injured, but just then she shut her eyes and blanked out for a few seconds. She opened them up again and noticed something strange. "Hey, wait a sec. Where did that freak go? He's right up in my face. And then she turned her head towards the right, where she saw Rick lying on the floor with Sanji looking down upon him. Now he's on the floor and Sanji is here? Okay, does this guy have warp speed or am I missing something here? Sanji's attention quickly turned towards Nami, hearing her voice. Nami, are you alright? He asked. Nami remained silent for a few seconds, looking agitated. Does this look like I'm okay to you? Unless you're into this kind of thing? Sanji now knew that the Nami he heard a few moments ago was her being under the influence of some kind of hypnotic powers from Rick's devil fruit. He ran up to the stage happily. Nami Swan, you're yourself again, he cheered. Myself? What are you on about? Don't worry about it. Right now we better get you out of here. Oh, finally, she replied with relief. I'm so sick of being a puppet, you have no idea. Get me down from these strings. Of course, Nami, my dear. Sanji quickly untied the strings off Nami's body, and once she was freed, she sat down on the floor feeling exhausted. Give me a sec, Sanji. My body aches from being up there for so long. That may have to wait, cause we got to get out of here. Marines are patrolling the island looking for us, and they might show up any second after I knocked out some of them out near the entrance. Oh, great of all the times. I got to find where the creep put my previous clothes. I'm not leaving here looking like this. Marines. Nami and Sanji looked towards Rick, who had managed to wake up. Sanji kicking him into the wall left him in a lot of pain, so he was struggling to move. If Marines are chasing you, then that must mean we're a pirate too, freak, Sanji told him. Straw Hat Pirates to you. Straw Hat Pirates? I've heard stories of your crew taking down some of the most feared pirates in the Grand Line. Nami, my dear, you didn't tell me that you were one of them. Nami, my dear, she replied in confusion. You have the nerve to say that to me after what you did to me? I have no idea how this is all happening in the blink of an eye, but you have no right to ever call me dear. But Nami, what about our dream together? Dream? Has that kick to the face made you crazy? Oh wait, you already are, so why do I ask? Just then everyone heard somebody shouting from downstairs. Those straw hats must be in here. Marines, get in there and capture them. They'll pay for taking our fellow officers down. Oh great, looks like the uninvited guests are on their way, said Sanji. Nami, we got to get out of here now. But Sanji, my clothes, she replied hesitantly. I got to get them back first. My purse is with them as well. How much was left in it? Not a single belly left. I spent it all. I'll get you a new one some other day then, there's no time. Oh, fine. This is the most embarrassing situation to escape from the Marines ever. Don't fret about it, Nami. You look stunning in that outfit anyway. No matter what you wear, you'll always look gorgeous. Nami didn't pay attention to him acting like a romantic and slowly got up on her feet. Rick weakly held out his hand towards Nami. Please. Don't go, Nami, he said, as Sanji and Nami looked towards him. After what you did to me? I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm done being your puppet. Please don't go, you're the only friend I've ever made. Friend, yet I'm done here, let's go, Sanji. Right with you, he replied, as they both made the run for it to take care of the Marines coming towards them. Nami lay helplessly on the floor, feeling like he had lost something precious to him. Thoughts of the Nami he wanted echoed through his mind. Sanji managed to take care of the Marines inside the theater, with Nami staying behind him, as she didn't have her glim attacked on her. They finally made it outside, where there were no Marines in sight, at least for now. "Now's our chance to get back to the ship," said Sanji. "Think you're ready to run for a good distance, Nami?" "I should be." "Yeah, but when Marines are after us, then I'm not slowing down." "Okay, but if you're ever too tired to run, then I'll carry you the rest of the way." Nami wasn't too keen on Sanji carrying her around. "Nah, I'm good. I'm a lot more capable than you think." "Then follow my lead, Nami. We'll meet up with Luffy and Frankie and make our way out of here." With that, they both ran as fast as they could back towards the meeting point, making sure to stay hidden from any Marines patrolling the area. Eventually they made it to the meeting spot and hid in the bushes. They were the first to make it back, so they waited to see if there was any sign of Luffy and Frankie. "Those guys better make it back quickly," said Sanji as he looked around. "Knowing their luck, they've got an angry mob of Marines following them," replied Nami. Just then they heard loud screaming in the distance and took a closer look towards where the noise was coming from. Upon closer inspection, they both sighed with annoyed looks to their faces. "Maybe I should become a fortune teller." In the distance was Luffy along with Frankie, running as fast as they could away from a herd of Marines chasing them down. "Get back here, Straw Hats," they cried. "Luffy, Frankie, over here," cried Sanji as he came out from the bush to signal at them. "I found Nami, so let's get out of here." "Sanji and Nami," cried Luffy as he and Frankie looked up ahead. "Finally we found her." "Yeah, and what's with the costume?" asked Frankie, looking at Nami's jester outfit. "Was she doing street performances this whole time?" "Hey, maybe she's really good at jokes and stuff," replied Luffy. "Jesters are so funny." "Guys, over here, let's go," called Nami, as she and Sanji took the lead in running away. Luffy and Frankie started running faster to catch up with them, and together they made a plan. "We got to go through the forest to reach the ship," Nami explained. "Let's try and lose them through there." "Got it," replied the others as they picked up the pace. Managing to get away from the Marines far enough to carry out their plan, the gang finally arrived in the forest, where they took a diversion off the path to make it back to the ship. Eventually the Marines made it to the forest as well, not stopping for a second. "Spread out, Marines," ordered the general. "Find those Straw Hats and take them down." "Yes, sir," they all replied, as they split into several groups to find them. Nami and the others now had to move as quietly as they could through the forest so they could make their escape. Luffy was close to sneezing a few times, which had the others all covering up his mouth in an instant to keep him quiet. After a difficult trench through the forest, they finally managed to escape the Marines and continued to make it back to the Thousand Sunny. Back on the ship, Usopp and the others, apart from Zoro, who was napping, as always, were looking out to see if Luffy's side had made it back yet. "It's been ages and still nothing," worried Usopp. "Hopefully the Marines haven't got to them," replied Chopper, worrying as well. "I'm sure they'll be fine," replied Robin confidently. "Luffy and Sanji are around, so they probably found Nami by now and are heading back." "Your confidence in them is a true sign of friendship," followed Brook. He had only been with the Straw Hats for a short while compared to the others, but Robin's hope was inspiring to him. Just then Chopper's blue nose managed to pick up some sense. "Guys, they've made it. I can smell them approaching this way," he cried happily. Nami and the others finally made it back to the ship, still running towards it. "Raise the anchors and let's get going right now before the Marines find us," called Nami. The others were about to comment on her attire but left that thought aside as they prepared the ship for departure. Luffy stretched out his arms using his Gum Gum Devil Fruit powers to grab onto the ship and launch himself onto it. He got on and stretched his arms again so the others could get on quicker. "Welcome back, guys. Are you alright?" asked Usopp. Questions later. "Let's move it," ordered Nami, which quickly got him running into the engine room. The Thousand Sunny finally managed to depart the island, and once it was far out at sea, Nami, Luffy, Sanji and Frankie laid down on the grass to rest. "I'm glad that's over at last," said Nami, feeling relieved to finally relax after all she went through. After taking a few minutes to chill, Nami explained everything to the rest of the crew about what happened from what she remembered. "Glad you're okay now, Nami," said Chopper. "We were all so worried about you." "Thanks, Chopper," she replied. "Being a puppet was the single most embarrassing situation I've ever been in. What a piece of work that jerk was." "He'll never harm you again," replied Sanji. "After the kick I gave him, he won't be doing what he did to you ever again." Quote. "He better not," said Usopp. Hopefully some of the other Marines found him and took him in for questioning. Robin thought more about it and realized something. What if he recovered from his injuries and went out using his powers again in the future on innocent people? She had to keep her theory to herself for now, as Sanji had asked her and the others to not tell Nami about what Rick's devil fruit powers were whilst she was around. After Sanji had seen Nami's mind being controlled by Rick, he didn't want her to ever find out what she had been saying under his influence. The crew suddenly heard yawning coming from the other side of the ship. It was Zoro who had finally woke up from his very long nap, as he walked up to the others. "Hey, what time is it?" he asked, as he opened his eyes. He noticed Nami's jester outfit, which surprised him a little. "What's with the crazy outfit you're wearing, Nami? Has Luffy made the deal with you to be the ship's comedian?" Nami was about to lose her temper, as she suddenly remembered that she was still wearing it, but managed to keep her cool as she slowly approached him. "You could say that, Zoro. You know what I find funny?" "Yeah, what?" With that, Nami gave Zoro a hard punch on his head, knocking him down to the ground so she could let out the rage she built up. "Now that's funny," she said, feeling satisfied. Luffy laughed hard, as he was easily amused. "That actually was pretty funny, Nami," he laughed out loudly. Nami wanted to hit him too, but resisted from doing so. She giggled lightly to herself as she left to go to her bedroom so that she could finally change into something else. For the rest of the day, the Straw Hat crew didn't do much else besides relax after their hectic day and decided to have an earlier night's sleep. Robin was the only one who stayed up so that she could be on lookout for the night. Nami was having trouble sleeping as she thought about Rick a lot. His words of him saying that she was his only friend was really bugging her, after he clearly showed hatred towards her. Ugh. Even after it's all over, he's still irritating me, even if he isn't in the same room. Thanks a lot, you bastard. You ruin my day and my sleep. Nami tried as hard as she could to try and forget about him, but it just wasn't working. She was just about to get herself a glass of water, until suddenly she blanked out for a few seconds. When she opened her eyes, fear was all over her face, as she looked around her room. "Master, master, where are you?" she cried. "Stardom awaits." Robin was sitting up in the crow's nest reading her book whilst she was on the lookout. As deep into her book as she was, she couldn't stop thinking about Nami. Although she had been rescued from her predicament with Rick, something just didn't feel quite right to her. Should we just move on from this so soon? That man's devil fruit powers, from what was described by Sanji, feels too dangerous to be left alone. We still don't know how his powers truly work, and if anyone affected has some kind of permanent mental mark from it. I should try and talk with Nami about it in the morning. She tried to get back to her book to take her mind off the situation for a while, but it proved difficult. As she continued to read, she was unaware that there was someone outside of the crow's nest slowly climbing up towards it. The individual very quietly opened the door to come inside, not making a sound. Robin was still very focused on her book and didn't hear a thing up until she heard the sound of the bell jingling. Robin was startled and could only think of one thing on the ship that sounded like a bell. She slowly turned around. "Is that you, Nat?" But before she could finish, Nami, dressed back in the jester outfit, charged at Robin and wrapped her elbow around her mouth as tight as she could. "Nami, what are you doing?" she muffled, as Nami pinned Robin down on the floor with her boot. Robin's fears were worse than she had anticipated. Nami wasn't acting like herself at all, as she restrained Robin down with a force that shouldn't be possible for her normal physical strength. It must be hypnotic suggestion. That man's devil fruit powers are far more dangerous than we imagined. Robin was about to use her flower fruit powers to restrain Nami, but Nami had now used her other hand to push down on Robin's neck where a pressure point was. Robin tried as hard as she could to resist, but it was too late, as she then passed out on the floor. Nami stood there looking at Robin with no emotion at all before she left the crow's nest. She quietly headed downstairs to the soldier dock system to leave 1,000 sunny via the Sharoma Cuba I, a modified waiver that Nami obtained during the Straw Hat's adventures in the Sky Islands. Without waking anybody else up, Nami made her escape and headed back towards the island where all the trouble started. After about 45 minutes of traveling across the sea, Nami landed back at the island, parking her waiver at the town dock. Without any hesitation, she ran as fast as she could back to the abandoned theater to find Rick. "I hope my master is okay after that mean chief beat him up," she said. "I have to help him now." After another half hour of traveling, she found herself back at the theater, but stopped to see that a group of Marines and the general were standing by the entrance. "Oh no, not the scary soldier guys," cried Nami, wondering what to do. The Marines strangely didn't go after Nami, but instead moved out of the way to let her inside. "You're not gonna take me away?" "Master is waiting for you," replied the general. "Please go inside." Nami didn't question their strange actions, nor did she pick up on them, as she was still hypnotized herself. She dashed on inside and found Rick waiting for her on the stage. "Master, I found you," she cried and ran over to give him a cuddle. "I'm so glad you came back to me," he said with relief. I was worried that you would never return to my side after my strength wore off. I don't know how or why my hold on you returned, but I'll take what I can get. I won't ever leave you behind ever again, Master, replied Nami, as she stopped cuddling him. What about the rest of the Straw Hats, though? Rick asked, suddenly remembering the beating he got from Sanji. Are they where you've left? Well, there was a scary lady who was keeping watch, so I knocked her out so it would give me time to escape. Rick grew quite worried. Oh no. Once she wakes up, then they'll come back here to take you away again and turn you into one of them. Nami, that was very reckless. Oh, Master, I'm so sorry, replied Nami sadly. I thought it would be the best way to escape the bad guys in case I got spotted. What's done is done, I suppose. In any case, I think it's best we leave this island and never come back, now that they will be after us. Nami was shocked and took a look around the theater. So we have to say goodbye to this place? Yes, my dear, but we will find a new theater to perform in. A bigger and better one, and plenty more after that one. You'll be a star across the Grand Line and even beyond that. We have to keep traveling to meet fan demands after all. Nami sighed with relief that her new dream wasn't ending anytime soon. Yet, I guess you're right. Then we better get out of here as quickly as possible before those Straw Hats find us. Now you got the right frame of mind. But before we set sail, I think that it's time for you to have a change of identity. Change of identity? Nami was puzzled at the idea, so Rick focused his eyesight on Nami and began to use his hypnotic powers. You are not Nami of the Straw Hat Pirates anymore. Having the name will only give you a bad rep for those Marines to chase after you, and when we were on our show tours. You will be given a new name as of today that you will stick with for the rest of your life. Your name is now Jinglet Marionette. Repeat to me your new name. My name is Jinglet Marionette, relayed Nami in monotone. My name is Jinglet Marionette. Well done, Jinglet. Rick snapped his fingers and Nami was back to her more energetic, hypnotized self. I love my name, she said. It's perfect for me, Master. Only doing what I can to please you, Jinglet, my dear. Now then, it's time to make our leave. Nami searched around the place looking for something she desperately wanted back. Where's my strings and controls, Master? I can't leave without them. Already got them packed up, Jinglet. I'd never forget the most vital essentials for what will make you a star. That's a relief. The sooner I'm strung back up, the better. I'm so happy that I just want to dance. Time for that, after we secure a ship and leave. Let's get to the harbor quickly before the Straw Hats find us. There's another harbor on the other side of town where the rich people park their amazing ships. We can take one for ourselves and avoid the Straw Hats if they show up. Lead the way, Master. Nami let Rick hold her hand as they finally left the theater and ran as fast as they could towards the second harbor. The travel to the harbor took longer than Rick would have liked, as he was often spotted by some townsfolk who were wondering what he and Nami were doing. He hypnotized anyone who got in his way to avoid raising any further suspicions. When they finally arrived at the harbor, they saw a giant ship bigger than what the Thousand Sunny was. The biggest luck was on Rick's side, as the ship had nobody on it. They must be staying in this town for the night, he said. How incredibly convenient. It is, replied Nami happily. Rick's eyes lit up when he had a closer inspection of the vessel. Jinglet. This isn't just a big ship. This ship is a showboat. I remember seeing one of these in my youth. I always wanted to go on one of these but never got the chance. Now we can own our own. That's so amazing, Master, said Nami, getting super excited. With this ship, I can perform whilst we travel the sea. Oh, let's take it now. Not quite yet, said Rick, as he started to think of a plan. Nami's excitement went on pause, as she wondered what he was thinking. If we just take this ship now, then the owners will find out we took it and get any remaining Marines after us. We need to make it so that they say that we can have it. Rick got a devious smirk on his face, knowing what he had to do. I have my new powers now, so this will be a piece of cake. We just have to wait until the owners of the ship return, then I'll do the convincing. If we hide on this ship tonight and surprise them when they are all together in the same place, then they'll have no choice but to let us keep it. Brilliant idea, Master, replied Nami. Let's get inside it and wait. I'm an expert at picking locks, so we can get inside no problem. Oh yes, that would work. This only makes things better. Even though Nami's identity hadn't mentally changed, she still hadn't forgotten her previous thieving skills from when she knew herself as Nami. Rick suddenly realized the problem about his plan that could ruin their getaway. But if those pesky straw hats are here by morning and track us down before the owners get back, then we're in trouble. But couldn't you just use your powers on them, Master? If that chief could take care of me, then I imagine everyone else can stop my powers before I have a chance to use them. I can't risk getting in their way. This plan is the only way to escape without the ship owners chasing after us. It just might be a risk we have to take. Nami sighed, growing worried about how the plan would go in the end. I hope we'll make it out of here, Master. This one obstacle is all that's stopping us. We'll make it, Jinglet, Rick replied as he held her hand. We'll make it. Back at the Thousand Sunny, morning had risen and Robin had finally woke up. She was a little dazed from last night, and it took a few seconds for her to remember what had happened. Nami, I have to warn the others. She ran out of the crow's nest to wake everyone else up. Thankfully, the others were already up, gathered at the dock, as she climbed down. Everyone, we have a big problem. What's the matter, Robin? Asked Luffy. It's Nami. She's gone. Quote. Gone? Replied everyone else at once. Robin explained the situation to everyone else. Not again, said Sanji angrily. How dare that slimy bastard rob her of her free will? We got to get back to that island now and kick his ass for permanent this time. We should have considered that his powers would still be in effect, followed Usopp. For all we know, he's planning on making a getaway to leave the island as we speak. Then let's get there before he gets the chance, replied Luffy as he clenched his fists. I'm already on it, said Frankie as he prepared the ship to change course back towards the island. Let me join you this time, said Chopper. I want to give that guy a piece of my mind too. The more the merrier, replied Luffy. Let's get our friend back for good this time. The Thousand Sunny went into Channel Zero mode, changing it into Paddle Wheel Sunny, and the ship picked up speed quickly. The Straw Hats weren't wasting any time in getting back as fast as they could. Meanwhile, Rick and Nami had been staying inside the empty showboat through the rest of the night and were still waiting for the owners to come back. In the time they had to kill, they had been looking around the place, which only got them more excited to take ownership of the vessel. It had a restaurant built inside along with the big stage that Nami couldn't take her eyes off. She desperately wanted to be strung back up that night, but Rick told her to wait until they secured the ship. They were currently waiting inside the control room for anybody to show up. "See anyone yet?" asked Nami. "The wait is killing me." "Not yet, Jinglet. Given by how crowded the town is from what I can see right now, they should hopefully be on their way soon." "Oh, hurry up everyone and let us have the ship," Nami moaned. "I wanna get started on my dream already." Luck was on Rick's side, as he finally saw a large group of people heading towards the ship. "Looks like the wait is over," he told Nami. "Everyone is finally arriving. Yay. About time." Once it got to a point where nobody else was coming on board, Rick and Nami got up and were ready to take action. "Boats come to Daddy," said Rick excitedly, as he and Nami headed straight for the main hall where the stage was located. The people inside were all talking amongst themselves, waiting for the ship to take off. Rick and Nami were able to sneak their way inside the hall and hide backstage. Rick had planned to make his move on stage in front of everyone when enough people were inside. Nami hid herself backstage while Rick was behind the giant red curtain waiting for a moment to appear before the people. "The time is almost here, Jinglet," he whispered. "This boat will soon be ours." "I can't wait, Master," she whispered back joyfully. As Rick waited to make his entrance, the voice was heard in the room coming from some speakers. "This is your captain speaking. This ship will now be departing for its next destination. We hope you enjoy the shows coming up later in the main hall and enjoy your travel. The time is now," said Rick, as he pushed open the curtains and appeared in front of everyone on stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard my wonderful ship." The audience looked on in confusion, as Rick became the center of attention. "Who's this wannabe?" said a smartly dressed man. "He looks pretty desperate for attention." "Is this the owner of the ship?" "He doesn't look it at all," said a lady. "I know what you're all thinking right about now," continued Rick. "Who am I and what am I doing here? Well, if you all continue to pay attention, I'll tell you." Rick put his takeover plan into action, as he focused on every person in the hall and started to use his hypnotic powers on everyone. "I'm your master now, and you will all be obeying my every command from now on." "Yes, Master," replied everyone at once, feeling deep under his power. "Fantastic. I'm the owner of this ship and nobody else can tell you otherwise. You can continue on with enjoying your stay here on my ship, but you are all completely loyal to me. Nobody leaves this ship until I say so." "Yes, Master." Rick finished using his powers on everyone, and by the end, he felt quite exhausted. "Never felt like this before. I guess taking over this amount of people at once takes its toll on me." He regained himself and looked at the crowd staring blankly at him, feeling proud of what he had accomplished. "Well then, everybody, I shall be personally putting on a little puppet show for you later on today. In the meantime, feel free to enjoy your stay whilst I go and make preparations." Back behind the curtain, Nami was getting hyped up at being able to finally perform in front of others for the first time. Finally my dream can start coming true. Master is so cool. Rick went back behind the curtain and walked on over to Nami with a smile. She ran up to Rick and gave him a big cuddle. "Oh, Master, thank you so much. I'm so excited you have no idea." "Glad to hear it, my lovely Jinglet. Now then we better start preparing you up for the show, shouldn't we?" As Nami jumped up and down with delight, Rick looked upwards to see how high up the upper level of the stage was. "I think we're going to need some longer strings for this show. We best check out what's backstage, after I take care of the captain driving this vessel. He's the only one left to take care of, so you stay here whilst I get him to obey." "Got it, Master." Elsewhere, the Thousand Sunny was getting closer to returning to the island, still going at max speed. The crew were holding on tight to whatever was close to them to avoid being blown away. "I see the island up ahead," called Frankie. "I'm gonna slow the Sunny down, so let's get ready to make a dramatic entrance and track Nami down. Let's catch that hypnotizing bastard and give him what for," replied Sanji. "He'll pay dearly for what he's done to our friend," said Chopper, looking prepared to fight. "Be aware that the Marines may still be on the island ready for us," replied Robin. "Not only could they be possibly under that man's control, the townfolk also. We can't harm any of those innocent people." As the ship got closer to the island, Usopp used his telescope to find the place to land and noticed something in the distance. "It's the Shiroma Cube Eye. Nami's here all right." Frankie parked the ship at that harbor up ahead. "Got it, Usopp." As the ship landed at the harbor, everyone jumped off the ship and split up to find Nami. Luffy, however, jetted himself into the air with his gum-gum rocket move to get ahead of everyone. It wasn't long until some Marines along with some hypnotized townsfolk appeared in various locations to try and slow down the Straw Hats. As Robin predicted, some of them were under Rick's control given the lifeless looks on their faces. Whilst the Straw Hats battled their way through the town, the showboat had already left the island and was nowhere in sight. Their mission to rescue Nami had failed before it could even start, and they wouldn't know of this until much later. Hours passed, and in that time Rick had hypnotized the captain and was currently putting on a show with Nami all strung up. The audience loved her, as they gave her many claps and cheers. Nami was filled with so much joy, as she sang some songs and watched her strings making her do various dances. After the show was over, Rick unstrung Nami, so that she could give him another cuddle. "Me, Master. They really loved me," she cried happily. "You were wonderful, Jinglet, my dear. I knew that your first time in the show business would be a success. I never doubted you for a second." As Rick and Nami went backstage to look around at all the props used for stage shows, Nami noticed something that caught her attention. "Look there, Master. I see a whole bunch of puppets hung up on the wall over there." Rick turned to where Nami was pointing to see all the various marionettes, which took him by surprise. "Well, I'll be. But none of these ones will ever meet your popularity. These lifeless puppets are old news now. It's all about the human puppet acts now, which you are the origin of." "You're right, as always, Master." Nami then got an idea which she wanted to start immediately. "Hey, see those hooks that hold up the other puppets? I wanna go up there with them too." "You do?" replied Rick, feeling surprised. "Yes. I'm a puppet just like them, and this is where my new room should be. The other puppets are put here to keep them safe, so I want to be safe here too. Rick thought about it for a moment and decided, well, if you really want to, Jinglet, I'll allow you to make yourself comfortable here. Yippee. Rick then strung Nami back up to her strings and hung her controls up on 2 hooks higher than the others, due to Nami being bigger than the other puppets. Nami was suspended above the ground, slightly rocking about from just being put up. She smiled, looking at all the puppets around her. Hi there, everyone. My name is TangledPenman, and I'm your new roommate. Or in this case, I'm your new sister, 'cause we'll all be one happy family. Rick couldn't help but smile seeing Nami happy where she was. I'm going to go and brainstorm ideas for the show as you're enjoying yourself, he told her. If you need anything, then I'll be over in a flash. Okay, Master. Thank you. As Rick went to go and grab himself a desk, Nami went back to talking with the lifeless puppets. Being a puppet is so much fun, isn't it? Being something that can make people happy is something I bet you all really love. I'm a little different from you all, but let's all be really great friends. Back on the island, the Straw Hats all returned to the ship after coming to the realization that Nami was gone. None of them knew what to say, as they remained silent, feeling disappointed in themselves. Fluffy broke the silence, sounding the most serious he had been in a while. We can't give up now. Our friend is still out there somewhere, and we won't stop until we see her again. The others remained silent and let Fluffy speak, feeling that he was saying exactly what they were all thinking. Even if it takes us days, weeks, months, we will put our journey on hold until she is found. It'll be hard without a navigator to guide us, but when our friend's life is on the line, then so be it. Let's set sail and get her back. Roger, Captain, said everyone else, being in complete agreement. As the Thousand Sunny set sail, everyone looked out towards the sea, thinking of Nami, knowing that they had a long search ahead of them. The search would end up taking a lot longer than expected, as time passed. The Straw Hat would end up arriving on an island sometime later known as Sabeo, the archipelago, where a devastating battle would separate the crew many miles away from each other. Each of them ended up in their own personal struggles, whilst Nami would go on to become a star across many islands with Rick's human puppet act. 2 years passed by. The seas of the New World, on an evening when the moon shone brightly, a large, spectacular-looking vessel flooded with lights that shone many colors sailed across the ocean. This boat was known as the Jolly Jingle, the most popular showboat for 2 years running. On board the massive showboat was many people conversing with each other, sitting down to eat dinner or gazing out at the sea. Couples, families with children, and many other types of people were all having a great time and eagerly waiting for a show to begin in the main hall. Scattered around the walls were eye-catching posters of the main show that had been selling out tickets for a very long time now. The Jinglette Marionette Show, starring the iconic Jinglette Marionette herself, was the most popular puppet show around. Being her name in real life as well as the main character in the show, Jinglette was a jester marionette always looking to have fun and make people happy. Created by showmaster Rick Gray, the show had Jinglette perform a variety of songs and dances along with some short storylines of her silly and jolly antics. Many children loved her and were always begging their parents to take them to see the show anytime tickets had become available. 7:40 p.m. While Jinglette and the show were loved by many, nobody has ever known of the true story of how the show came to be. The clocks around the ship were now showing 7:40 p.m. and many people were grouped outside the main hall doors waiting eagerly to get in their seats to watch the show. The doors to the main theater would open during that time and the show would kick off at 8 p.m. to give everyone time to come in. "Oh, I can't wait for this, Mom and Dad," said a young boy excitedly to his parents. "Jinglette is gonna be on stage soon." "Yeah, me too," said the boy's sister. "Getting to see Jinglette live is what I've been dying to see so much." "Okay, calm down now you two," replied the mother happily. "We just have to be patient now so they can get things ready." "I'm sure Jinglette will be delighted to see you watching," followed the father. "I know she will," replied the boy. "I'm her biggest fan." "No, I'm her biggest fan," said his sister back. "No way." "I am." "No, I am." "Okay, now let's not argue," said the mother. "Jinglette won't want to see you both arguing with each other." "You both are her biggest fans, okay?" replied the children. They made up and went back to staring at the doors waiting to open. "You say this show is as great as your cousin said it was," said a guy to his girlfriend. "I dunno, it seems like something only you would get a kick out of." "Nonsense. Jinglette is supposed to be for everyone. She looked like a lot of fun to watch." "Be positive," replied his girlfriend. "I'll take your word then. This cost a lot of belly to spend our weekend on." Audiences from all over the ship had their own expectations and excitements for the show about to start. Soon the security guard finally opened the doors from inside the theater. "Thank you all for waiting so patiently. Please take your seats and the puppet show extravaganza will be starting soon." The crowd dashed inside, all looking for the beat seats in the house that weren't already booked. The atmosphere was loud and cheerful, as everyone waited patiently for the show to begin. Backstage, from behind the stage curtains, last-minute checkups were being taken to make sure that everything was ready to go. The stage background was a huge painting of a big green field with a castle in the background, and behind it were many other backgrounds that would set the future scenes up. A sizable work crew were looking at their finished preparations, and a man dressed up in fine clothing was inspecting the finished work. That man was Rick Gray. "It looks great, guys. We're now ready to begin," he said, making sure he wasn't loud enough for the audience to hear from behind the curtains. "Thanks, boss," said one of the puppeteers from up above. "Let's give them a show to remember tonight." "Fantastic," he replied happily. "Is my darling ready too?" A faint sound of jingling bells was heard to give the signal. "Okay then. I'll make the introductions and we'll start the show." Rick turned to face the curtains and waited for the main lights to turn off. The audience was getting very excited as the main spotlight shone on the stage. Rick went through the curtains and stood on the stage, accepting the claps for him by everyone watching. "Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, I welcome you aboard the Jolly Jingle. I'm Rick Gray, the captain of this vessel and the creator of the greatest puppet show in the world." The audience clapped for him. "We have been very grateful for all the praise and wonderful feedback on our show. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that one of my dreams could come true." It's an honor that we have been continuing to entertain many audiences across the Grand Line and now the New World for 2 years straight. Without you then we would never have kept going for this long. So tonight I may come across as a broken record when I say thank you to each and every single one of you. Because of you, Jinglet is a very lucky and happy person. The audience clapped once again and cheered loudly. Rick smiled at everyone, feeling proud of how much his life had turned around since getting his show made. But enough about me now. I know you have all come here to see the main star. So how about we get things started? Everyone clapped and cheered loudly once again. Then sit back, relax and enjoy the one, the only, Jinglet marionette. Rick left the stage as the applause got louder. And the fields are peaceful, said the voice-over for the lady puppet. It's almost too peaceful actually. Usually, that cheeky Jinglet is lurking around somewhere always getting up to mischief. I wonder if she is around at all today? Just then Jinglet started speaking in a non-threatening spooky voice to trick the lady. Woo-woo. I'm the spirit of the great money tree. I will make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. What the? The tree spoke. The puppet jumped and took a few steps back. That is correct. Just say the word and I'll make you filthy rich. The puppet then was positioned to look at the audience. That's incredible. Did you boys and girls know about this tree? The audience all replied yes back to it. Well, I'll be. In that case, go ahead. Please make me rich, O great tree of wealth. Then your wish shall be granted. You shall get 1,000 berries. 1,000? Oh, me good, but what rained down from the stage wasn't any money at all. It was a storm of berry fruits instead, which hit the puppet continually. The audience laughed and Jinglet jumped up high from behind the tree and landed on her feet. God yeah. Maybe fruits and money shouldn't sound the same, ha. I got her really good, didn't I, boys and girls? Yes, you sure did, replied the audience, still trying not to laugh. Oh, that troublesome Jinglet has tricked me again, said the voice of the puppet in a cheerful tone. I should have thought that the sound of jingling came from your bells. You cheeky trickster, you. The show carried on with various acts and musical numbers for a good hour. A very satisfied audience were talking about the show well after the doors closed in the theater. Backstage, Rick came on down to speak with Jinglet once the staff had hung up her puppet controls with her still strung up. The controls were hung on a pulley system, so that whoever pulled rope attached would raise Jinglet upwards so she would be at level with the other puppets hung up. Even when not on the show, she always remained motionless when nobody was pulling her strings. She was currently positioned to be standing up. Another fine job, well done, my dear. You captivated that audience until the very end, and I'm once again proud of you. Thank you, Master, she replied cheerfully. I'll always do my best for you. Act a girl, you can have a hug for a job well done. He pinched the strings connected to her wrists and pulled them towards him to make Jinglet hug him. Now then, it's time you got some sleep. We have a busy day coming up when we arrive at Rosa in a few days. Oh yes, that's right. I remember you saying that we were going there. Are we gonna have people from Rosa watch the show? Indeed, my bundle of joy. You'll get to spend the first day being able to walk around the town with one of the stilt walkers who will help you move around. You can say hello to everyone and pass out flyers to come and watch the show the next day. That sounds like a lot of fun, Master. It's been so long since I've got to go outside and see people outside of the show. After all your success, you deserve a reward, my dear. Neither of us has been to Rosa before, so play nice with the people, because we need an audience. Yes, Sir Master. I'd salute, if I could. Rick chuckled and took her left hand string and raised it towards her head to salute him. Thank you, sir. All right then. Up you go now and get some sleep. He pulled on the pulley system's rope, which raised Jinglette upwards so she was suspended up above Rick along with the other marionettes. Good night, Master. You sleep well too. Good night, my wonderful Jinglette. As he left the stockroom and headed for his bedroom located at the highest part of the ship, Jinglette closed her eyes without hesitation. Night, everybody, she whispered to the other lifeless puppets whom she always spoke with every day. Once in his room, Rick got out a pen and paper to start jotting down more ideas he could add to the show. He started talking to himself, which he did a lot when by himself. Hard to believe it's been 2 years since that day I took you in, Nami. He started to think back about the day that changed his life. The day I freed you from the life of a pirate and put into stardom as a now famous human marionette who everyone loves. This life has been much better for you, and I finally have someone that I can call a dear friend. I may have had to manipulate your mind with my powers to get this far, but I'm much better off this way than how I used to get on with life. He looked at the poster for the Jinglette show with Nami on the front. Someone I used to despise is now someone I can order about with no backlash. It's so great to be me anyway. I better get started on some new acts for the show. We need to change things up a bit to keep audiences from getting bored. He spent most of the night writing until he couldn't stay awake anymore. A few days later, the jolly Jingle finally arrived at Rosa. Nami woke up with the same smile as always, waiting for Rick to come in and put her on the ground. Good morning, friends, she said to the puppets. Rise and shine, everybody. However, she noticed that something about her surroundings that felt different. Your Majesty and Highness? Where are you? She was referring to 2 marionettes that were king and queen of the castle used in the show. They weren't hanging up on their usual spots, which had never happened before. Where are you 2? Have you gone on stage without me? She looked down on the floor and in shock saw where the puppets were. They both lay on the floor, all broken from head to legs. Oh my gosh, the king and queen broke. Master! Master, come quickly, she yelled desperately, waiting for Rick to arrive. In no time flat, Rick rushed into the stockroom. What is it, Jinglette? What's wrong? Look on the floor. The king and queen fell down and broke. What? He examined the damage and looked up to notice that the hooks where they hung on had broken off, resulting in the puppets breaking from the impact of the fall. This is a disaster. We needed them for tomorrow night's show. This is just great. What do we do now? Nami asked worryingly. I'll have to come into town with you and the Distilled Walker and look for a store that hopefully sells puppets that can replace these ones. I guess it was a matter of time until something like this would happen. These 2 were getting worn out and they're ancient. I got them second-hand 2 years ago, so I should avoid it in the future. I come, Master? I want to help out too. No, don't worry about that. You have a job to do, so stay focused on that and leave the replacements to me. Understand? The command given to Nami instantly changed her worried state of mind to a jolly one, like a trigger in her brain. Okie dokie, master. I'll stick to what you want me to do. Rick used the pulley system to bring Jinglet down and put her on her feet so the Stilled Walker could come in and take her out. Like all the staff Rick had on board his stolen ship, the Stilled Walker didn't join the crew by his own free will. He, along with everyone else, was hypnotized by Rick's devil fruit powers so that they would work for him for as long as he needed them. When the Stilled Walker came in, he took Nami's puppet controls in hand and started making her walk out of the ship to head towards the town. He was a strong man, so he was able to freely manipulate Nami like a marionette despite her being a human being. "Here we go, Mr. Stilled Man," she cheered, as the pair walked on with Rick by their side. As the trio nearly reached the town, Rick started to take off in a different direction to look for a shop that sold puppets. "Remember, Jinglet, to behave yourself and hand out these flyers," he explained, as he gave a bunch of them to Nami to hold in her hand. "I will, master. I hope you find us some new friends." "I'm hoping so. Have fun and see you soon." He took off ahead. "Bye-bye," Nami called, wanting to wave at him. The pair finally made it into town and the citizens fixed their attention towards her. "Hey, check it out," said a woman speaking to her friend. "It's one of those human marionette acts. Pretty cool." "Yeah," replied her friend. "Let's go and say hello." A bunch of people all came together to get closer to Nami. "Hello, ladies and gentlemen," said the Stilled Walker. "This here is the lovely and wonderful Jinglet Marionette, and she's been looking forward to meeting you all. Say hello, Jinglet." He manipulated the strings to operate her arms to wave hello at them. The audience was fascinated and enjoying her company already. This fun-loving jester loves to dance and play with all the friends she makes, and she's hoping that you'll be her friend too. "Look at that puppet, Mummy," said a young girl to her father. "I wanna go say hello to her." "Go ahead then, Jenny," replied her father happily. Jenny got closer to Nami, and the Stilled Walker made Nami bend down so she could see the young girl better. "Hello there, Miss Jinglet. I'm Jenny." Nami was made to shake about to give a response, which made every bell on her outfit ring rapidly. "I can dance just like you can too." "Oh, I think she likes the sound of that," said the Stilled Walker. "Don't you, Jinglet?" He made Nami's head nod up and down to say yes. "Well then, let's watch her dance, ladies and gentlemen." He manipulated Nami to dance around on the spot, which captivated everyone. Jenny was giggling with joy, as she then tried to mimic Nami's movements. Whilst Nami was being shaken around, she caught a glimpse of something rather peculiar. More citizens were making their way towards her, but they didn't look like humans at all. In fact, they were walking, talking toys that were moving around by themselves. Nami almost jumped at the sight of them, but tried to remain in character. "On earth is this? The last time I checked, toys can't move by themselves. This is super fascinating." The toys gathered around to see Nami and were just as captivated as the rest of the citizens were, who seemed to be accepting to the toys like it was completely normal to them. "Fancy that. A puppet that isn't a toy. Now there's something you don't see all the time," said a wind of dolls. "She must be one of those street performers," replied a wooden doll. "Let's keep watching. Nami was paraded around the town for the next few hours, entertaining people and giving out the flyers to come and see the show. Her day was going very well, seeing all the happy people enjoy her company. I wonder how the master is doing. I hope he found some new friends. Meanwhile, Rick had come across an old-fashioned toy shop after searching for a long time. He looked on the walls where lots of puppets were on display, hoping to find a king and queen. "Can I help you today?" asked the shopkeeper. "Yes, my good sir. I'm looking for a king and a queen marionette. Do you have any hanging around?" "Not on display, but I'll check the stock room for you." "Thank you, assistant. I need you to keep an eye on the cashier," he called towards the stock room. The assistant came out and jumped onto the shelf next the till. Rick jumped, seeing that the assistant was a wooden window monkey toy moving on its own. "You got it, boss," it replied, as the shopkeeper headed into the stock room. "What in the world are you?" asked Rick, who couldn't hold back on his true emotions to what he was seeing. "Last time I checked, I'm a monkey," replied the toy. "I take it you haven't seen any toy talk back at you. This is insane. How on earth are you alive?" "I dunno. I've always known myself to be who I'm and just lived with it. There's plenty of other toys just like me too who live here, so I'm not alone." "Fascinating. You're very unique." Just then the shop bell rang and Rick looked back to notice a customer walk in. It was a young girl wearing a red teddy bear coat and a white dress with blue polka dots. She was eating some fruit as she took a close look at Rick. "Oh, hello there, master. What can I do for you today?" asked the monkey toy. "Master?" As Rick was in his thoughts, the girl continued to look at him and finally spoke. "I've heard about you, Mr. Showman. Not to mention your Jinglet puppet too. How did you hear about us then?" "Oh, Jinglet is a very special case that I have been interested in seeing for a long time now." The girl gave a sinister look which started to worry Rick. Could she possibly know the truth about Jinglet that he hoped would have stayed a secret? He started to shake a little.